There's a few routes that we talked about. The first one is that we could do it individually. The number one thing to remember, like ever, 1st of May 2020, the points for the express entry draw. Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then a very big hello. My name is Louise and today I have got the most requested video ever for my channel. I am in my Canadian spirit jersey, which means I bring you an information video, and it is how to get from your IEC visa over to PR, which is permanent residency. Now, I have filmed this, I would say 3 or 4 times, and every time I go to edit it, I'm really not happy with it. And because it's such an important information video, I just needed it to be right. So today I am feeling positive. I've got this. I am so ready to film this video. So let's get started. If you don't know, me and my boyfriend Jake moved to Canada last year on the 26th of December 2019, and now we have been here for a complete year and we're ready to go for our PR. Now, there are a number of ways to get permanent residency, which I'm going to be talking about in this video. I'm just going to briefly touch on how we're going for PR, and I'm going to make a more in-depth video when I go along the process. I just want to put a little disclaimer out there. Me and Jake are no means professionals. People message us all the time for advice, and we're happily give you advice from our own experiences, but we do not specialize in this topic. We literally moved from the UK to Canada doing research all by ourselves, and everything we document on my YouTube channel is experiences that we have done, and we don't like giving any sort of professional advice to you guys. So what might work for us might not work for you, and so on. So we're just sharing what works for us, and maybe it will work for you. Fingers crossed. And also, one of our really lovely subscribers gave us some information to an immigration specialist, and we have been using this specialist. We have had Zoom calls with her. She charged $100 to start with. Me and Jake knew, I would say a few months in of being in our first year of the IEC visa, that we wanted to stay in Canada for as long as possible. Now, our IEC visa is a 2-year work and holiday visa, which means we can live and work in Canada for 2 years. At the end of the 2 years, we would then have to fly home. But then we want to go down a route where we can stay longer and able to still work. Then we are going to go down the permanent residence route. So permanent residency, there's a number of different ways to go down, and our professional that we spoke to told us to go through the express entry route. Now, this route, the easiest way to explain it is it's done on a point system. So everything you do and everything you put forward into this visa, you will get points back. For example, your GCSEs, your university courses, your profession, and you get points. For example, sorry, I don't want to confuse you. For example, this Friday, they are giving out visas for people that have got 490 points and more. So if you have more than 490 points, then the likelihood of you getting a visa that week is a lot higher than if you had less points than that. So if you ever see in like groups of moving to Canada, people uploading points for that week, that is what it means. In black and white, they're handing out visas for people that have got that amount of points. That's the easiest way to say it without getting too advanced, and that's the way that we've learned it from our professional, and yeah, it's the easiest way to remember how to do it. So basically, in the IEC visa, you're put in a pool and it's a lucky dip. With the express entry PR, it's done on more of a professional point system. We had an interview with obviously this professional, and she marked us on points and the best way to go. There's a few routes that we talked about. The first one is that we could do it individually. So we would both apply for our PRs in difference, to say that we're single, we go on our own, exactly the same as we did in our IEC visa. We came as single people, we didn't cross paths and become as a couple. We came and got our visas independently by ourselves. So that was route 1. The second route was to go underneath Jake. So go together as a couple and go underneath Jake's points, go underneath Jake's job. And then the third way is to go under me. So we would go together and we would go under me. The route that we did get recommended to go down, me as the front runner and Jake coming in with me, because I've been to university and that gives me more points, and Jake doesn't have any school qualifications. So if we went underneath Jake, then we wouldn't get as many points, and obviously if we went individually, Jake wouldn't get as many points as me, so he may not get a visa as quick as I would. So the best route that we could have chose, and we got professionally advised to go down, is that we go together underneath me, and that would give us the most points. Now, if you are going through the permanent residency express entry, the number one thing to remember, like ever, is you always need proof. So if you're going as a couple, you need to prove that you are a couple. So if you're thinking about doing express entry in like 2-3 years, you can start getting ready for it right now. Number of ways to do this is, if you're living together, put both of your names on all the bills, put both of your names on the house agreement, put both of your names down if you're renting a house. If you're buying a car, put both of your names down, because all of this is proof that you're a couple and it gets you more points. I'm very grateful that we did this anyway, so this is something we don't need to worry about. But for people that are looking to go as express entry and everything's in your own name, start putting both of your names on everything, and it will become a lot easier to prove that you're a couple. So we obviously had this interview with the professional, and she broke all of the points down. Now, I do not know what an okay point is, depending on each category. I'm just gonna let you know what my points are currently, and all of them joined together give us such a high number. And I'm gonna quickly look into what the most recent number was to be accepted to get a visa, and where we stand right now if we were to apply for it right now. Sorry if I'm looking down a lot, I am just looking at my laptop because she sent me over a folder of all of the information. So the first thing she asked us was about our age. Now obviously this was another positive, because I am younger than Jake, because he is slightly older than us. Obviously I am 26, and that gave me 100 points. Education also worked in my favour, me being the principal applicant. So my education is a 3-year bachelor degree, so that gave me 112 points. To do with my university degree, I do need to do a few things to be able to get those points, but as it stands right now, I've got 112 points for my university degree. My Canadian work, I have got 40 points because I have got 1 year work experience as a manager in a Canadian job. Now I talk about this in a few videos. If you're looking to go for express entry PR, they look for people that have had specialized jobs, such as management roles. There's so many different jobs on there, so just make sure when you're applying for jobs, you're applying for jobs that gives you the most points in the long run. And once you've been doing that job for 1 year, you get a lot more points. I will be getting 40 points for my Canadian work experience as of April 2021. Spouse basically means if you've got any children or if you've got any other applicants under you. Now obviously Jake will be coming in as my partner, so that gives me 2 points. Then we give spouse Canadian work experience. Now we get quite a lot of points for this. We get 5 points for this because Jake would have been a manager for 1 whole year in January, so we get near enough max amount of points for that. Sorry if I'm saying this wrong, but to get PR Express entry, you have to take the IELTS test. It's spelled IELTS test, and it's basically a writing, speaking, reading English test, and then you're marked, and that goes towards the point system. So I have to take this test, and so does Jake, but they kind of gave us an average point system just so we know where we will fall. So she gave me 128 points for mine, and then for Jake she gave 20. Just because it's a spouse, there's less points there. Then there's a section under foreign work, and we have got 50 points for that, which obviously means work in other countries. Me and Jake were born and raised in England, so we got 50 points for that, which I think is the max amount of points for that category, because we worked as managers for like the last 3 years in the UK. So we had both very, very good jobs in the UK. So that worked in our favour as well. Adding all of our points up together, me being the principal applicant, it equaled up to be 507 points. Which is a very, very high number. At first, when I got given that number, I didn't know if that was good or if that was bad. And then from looking at previous points handing out every week, I knew it was a very good number. I am actually just going to go onto a Facebook group that I am part of. So I am just currently on my favourite Facebook group that I talk about in every single information video, the IEC discussion page on Facebook, where they talk about everything visa related. And I've just gone back to the beginning of the year. Well, 1st of May 2020, the points for the express entry draw was 452 points. And that is such a low number, and everyone in the comments are writing how low it is and how they could like near enough all go into this draw. And then on the 20th of August 2020, the draw was 454 points. On the 25th of June was 431 points, and they handed out 3,508 invitations, which is just crazy. So it looks like 2020, if you had the points from 440, I would say, up to over 500, you were safe to get into that draw. It was quite a low point. On the 16th of September, which is the most recent one I can find on here, the cutoff point was 472, which seems to be quite a high number according to some of the comments on this. So if we went under my name and got all of the points that we're projected to get according to the professional, I would end up with 507 points, which is such a high number. And I think if we went under Jake's name, I think we equaled out to be 460 to 470 points, which still isn't bad, and we would have been able to go into the draw last year if we applied. Do not worry if you get given a low point number, because as you can see, May last year, they were giving applicants the invitation to apply in points as low as 430 points. So do not panic if you've got a really low point, because it changes all the time. You just have to keep an eye on the point system. Now, when they call those points out, for example, if they came today and said that they're accepting people with points of 480 and more, and myself and Jacob got 507, that doesn't mean that we will get a visa just like that. It doesn't mean that every single person that has applied with more than 480 points means that they'll get a visa. It means that you get to go in the express entry draw. So we're now going to be moving on to what I kind of need to do now to get myself to the 507 points that I have been kind of... It's basically like a mock exam at school. You take a mock exam and you've been given, for example, you're going to be projected a B for maths, and then you go and take your GCSE, and then you still have to try and aim to get that B, but sometimes you can get a C or lower. So I've been projected of 507 points, and now I just need to get those points and do everything that they tell me to do. So the first thing I need to do is to get my education. This is one of the highest amount of points on all of my point system. It was 112 because I've been to university and got my 3-year bachelor degree. Now, to make those points count, I need to change my English degree over to like a Canadian equivalent. Now, the way I do this is on a website called WES.org. I will leave it down below. So basically, I log into this website, I upload all my information about my degree, where I studied it, what it was called, what grade it was that I came out with, and then they contact the university, I believe, and they get it turned over to a Canadian equivalent degree. Now, sometimes it could be a lower degree than you had took in the UK. You just have to wait and see. I might lose a few points in this section just because I took a 3-year bachelor degree. That might be an equivalent of a 2-year degree over here. I don't know until I upload my certificate onto this website and find out. Now this does cost 200 Canadian dollars, I believe. So I'm doing this when I next get paid on Friday, and I'll be taking you along with me just to show you how it's done and how you guys can do it as well. The second thing we need to do, and it's so important, is book our IELTS test. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I find it really hard to say that. So we need to book our English reading, writing and speaking test. And this is something that we need to do quite quickly, because I heard that there is quite a backlog due to COVID. So we need to get in there and we need to take those tests. You can obviously take those tests more than once as well. So if we take it and not get the points that we want, then we can retake it in the future. So this is something that me and Jake are going to be looking at on Friday as well, to take these tests. I'm not too sure how much it is yet, so I will take that. I will take you guys along with me for that one. And then once we have got our 1-year Canadian work experience, which will be April 2021, we just need to make sure we meet the criteria for the Canadian Express entry. So to do this, I just need to print a picture of our passports, a picture of our work permits, and a letter from my workplace signed of when I first started that job and what the position was. Now they are the 3 things that I need to do. So once I've got all these points, then I can go and apply it to be in the express entry draw. Fingers crossed they pull out the number that we are hoping for, and then we can apply. Once we can apply, there are so much more that we need to do to get this visa, and I feel like this needs a part 2 on getting a IEC to express entry visa. But I just briefly wanted to touch the surface with it, because so many people have been asking me how we're doing it, and I just wanted to let you know what our points are, how we're going about it, and what's the next step in this journey. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, then leave them down below. I will try and find the right answer for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on Monday with a day off vlog.